9/11 t-shirt a lot. I wear the 9/11 was an inside job t-shirt a lot. I wear the Obey Arnold t-shirt a lot. And more recently, the Defend Freedom one as well. Maybe the Orwell quote one. That's a good one. I get comments on the Orwell one out in Austin quite a bit. But don't give up hope, man. I see actually a big surgence of truth in the upstate New York region, especially with the women who fought taking the H1N1 shots as nurses in Albany, saying, no, we're not taking mandatory shots. And that shows you what you can do when you get motivated and activated. You can go up against the system and win. Appreciate the call, Dennis. Let's go to Joe in New Jersey. Joe, you're on the line.
Yo, what's up, Jason?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good.
What's this new Building 7 information that just came out?
All right, sure.
What's up?
Yeah, all right. So there's a guy out there. His name is, I believe, Jeffrey Scott is the author of this article. It was a Fox News article attacking Jesse Ventura. Now, as he's attacking Jesse Ventura, he's like, I was there. There were no bombs in Building 7. How dare you say such a thing? But then I'm going to read you the quote of what he also said. I remember getting this is, I'm sorry, that's the Silverstein quote. It's Jeffrey Shapiro. Let's see. Hold on, I got to find the actual quote right here. Okay, here we go. Shortly, and this is Jeffrey Scott Shapiro states, I was working as a journalist for Gannett News and at Ground Zero that day, and I remember very clearly what I saw and heard. Shortly before the building collapsed, several NYPD officers and Con Edison workers told me that Larry Silverstein, the property developer of One World Financial Center, was on the phone with his insurance carrier to see if he would be able to authorize the controlled demolition of the building, since its foundation was already unstable and expected to fail. So, again, they say there wasn't a controlled demolition there. This guy says, I didn't hear any bombs. But here he actually admits that different NYPD police officers and Con Edison workers were in the know that Silverstein was trying to contact his insurance agency to see if he could pull off a controlled demolition that day. And we all know it takes months and months to wire those buildings for a controlled demolition. But the truth of the matter is they were pre-wired, and he probably had to get permission because something went wrong with the plan. And we all know about the pull it comment. We didn't put it in Fabled Enemies, but let me read you that quote. We can probably play it for you in the next segment. I remember, this is from Larry Silverstein himself, I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire, and I said, we've had such a terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is to pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and we watched the building collapse. And right after that, in the PBS special, they showed them pulling Building 6, which is demolishing Building 6. So here we have yet another mainstream reporter, Joe, and we're going to come back to you on the other side, admitting that Silverstein was looking to bring the building down before it happened. I want to get your take on the other side, Joe, and so much more. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas.
What's your home worth? How can you compare local real estate agents? And how do you get MLS listings for the entire country? If you're thinking of buying a home to take advantage of the tax credit or selling your house, you first need to see an incredible website called HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com will help you find a realtor to buy or sell a home. It's so easy, and best of all, it's free. At HomeGain.com, you can compare realtors anonymously, receive customized proposals, see consumer reviews, then select the best realtor for you. Go to HomeGain.com and get an instant home value estimate, view comparable homes, and check out street views. HomeGain.com has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and contains a wealth of information, like their home improvement tool that helps you determine which home improvements to make to increase your home's value. See the top 12 home improvements right now at HomeGain.com. That's HomeGain.com. Look for Max, the orange HomeGain gorilla, to help you find a realtor or with any other real estate needs you might have at HomeGain.com, your real estate connection.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Men standing on the top of their own graves, wondering when Jesus comes, are they gonna be saved?
We are back. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas. If you're just joining us, we just played the third tower, the third skyscraper chapter out of Fabled Enemies and went over the latest news about Building 7. Let's read the quote, and then we're going to go back to Joe in New Jersey. This is from Jeffrey Scott Shapiro. Shortly before the building collapsed, several NYPD officers and Con Edison workers told me that Larry Silverstein, the property developer of One World Financial Center, was on the phone with his insurance carrier to see if they would authorize the controlled demolition of the building, since its foundation was already unstable and expected to fail. And the foundation was fine. We just showed you the inside of the building from the south face in the video. Joe, what's your take?
The first thing I'd like to ask you is just a straight-out question. Were the Enron records vaulted in 7?
Yes. But they're not the only ones. The SEC records were also there as well. The major SEC scandal records were there. The Enron records were there. And then so much more. In that Fabled Enemies piece, I show you the mainstream news piece where they admit there was a bunch of classified documents that they had to not only get but protect. So they brought the FBI in to encompass the surrounding of what was the building. And then they sent in special FBI agents to go in there while CIA and other special forces watched them from the tops of other buildings to ensure that they didn't carry out classified material without going through the intelligence networks first. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, great. Just a sidebar real quick. The FBI just seized a whole bunch of Enron records from Goldman Sachs. I don't know if you know that or not.
And is that in part of this civil trial, or are they saying that that's something separate?
When
okay.
we raided the offices at Goldman Sachs and pulled Enron records.
Interesting.
I want you to back check that too. The other thing I need you to back check too is also, or if you can investigate into it, was supposedly that was the orchestrating perch for the Tower 1, Tower 2.
You know, I don't believe that, and let me tell you why. A lot of people say that, they must have used that as their command center. But then you listen to Barry Jennings' testimony, and he was in the Office of Emergency Management, which was the 23rd floor, which is where the OEM was. Now, on other floors, you did have Department of Defense, you did have CIA, but they blew up the inside of that building. That's where those fires came from. It didn't come from the towers falling down. It was from those internal explosions. So I don't think it was the command center, because they actually had, first of all, they had Tripod 2 going on there. And in the OEM, they were running this drill, and Giuliani was in Building 7 on the morning of 9/11. He admitted it. And that's where they evacuated from. And if you listen to Jennings' testimony, he says when he got there, it was after the first plane strike, but before the second, they still had hot coffee and ham sandwiches that were half-eaten all over the place, which means that they made a very quick evacuation. And then they shut the power off in the building. Now, I don't know how you're going to orchestrate the rest of 9/11, a.k.a. the demolitions of 1 and 2, after you've already flown the buildings in from 7 with the power out. And why put yourself in jeopardy there? There's so many other surrounding buildings. The Woolworth building is one. I think that's part of a disinfo campaign. Just because the CIA was there doesn't mean the CIA wasn't in other parts of that structure. Remember, that's Building 7. There was Building 6. There was Building 5. Those received heavy damage. There was buildings outside of the array of the World Trade Center, which were just as close and probably better to use as an operational center. But the bottom line is, Joe, it doesn't look like any of that's the truth. The evidence leads me to believe that these attacks were probably carried out from the Doomsday Command Center planes known as E-4Bs. Now, are you aware of the E-4Bs on the morning of 9/11, Joe?
Yes, I was there, and I was at Exit 15. I'm the guy that was supposed to send you all those pictures that I was really nervous to send them to you. I was there on the property, yeah.
Well, you should send them, man. Look, the way to go is to go as public as you can. You don't want to end up being one of these guys that had information and didn't put it out there. And for those that don't know what these E-4Bs are, and I appreciate the call, Joe, these are literal command centers for shadow government and DOD entities within the government. And they're running drills that morning where they just happen to be on the scene of all the attacks. Oh, what do you know? Doomsday operational centers for the shadow government are on the scenes of the 9/11 attacks as they occur. We're going to go to Mike, Craig, Scott, Glenn, and many others on the other side. It's 888-201-2244. Back after this, it's the Infowarrior.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The New World Order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a